Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're tackling a mission that is absolutely crucial if you live in Indiana. We are going to walk through exactly how to successfully secure your Indiana Real ID. Listen, if you're a resident of the state, this is one piece of administrative housekeeping you simply cannot ignore. Picture this, okay? You just got to the airport, your bags are packed, you're super excited for your trip. But when you finally get up to the TSA security checkpoint, they turn you away. Why? Simply because you aren't carrying the right kind of identification. So I've got to ask, are you ready for May 2025? Because that clock is officially ticking. May 7th, 2025. Seriously, burn this date into your memory. This is the final, absolute statutory deadline set by the federal government. On this day, standard state-issued IDs are no longer going to cut it if you want to board a domestic commercial flight or get into certain secure federal facilities. Without a real ID by this date, your travel plans could literally be stopped in their tracks. Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our rapid-fire roadmap for today. 1. What a real ID actually is. 2. The 4 pillars of documentation you'll need. 3. Navigating the BMV application process. 4. The costs. 5. Renewals and edge cases. And 6. Final tips and a disclaimer to make sure you nail this on your first try. Section 1. What is a real ID? Understanding the federal standard. The Real ID isn't just some random rule Indiana came up with. It actually stems from a federal law passed by Congress way back in 2005. The whole idea here is to establish a much higher standardized level of security for state-issued IDs to help combat identity fraud. It essentially proves that the person holding the ID is exactly who they claim to be, which keeps secure areas like airports and military bases safe. When you look at the two IDs side by side, the visual difference is kind of subtle, but it's absolutely massive in practice. A standard Indiana license has no star on it, and it will not get you past TSA after the deadline. A real ID, on the other hand, proudly displays this little gold star right up in the upper right-hand corner. That little golden star is basically your all-access pass for domestic air travel. And hey, if you're thinking, well, I'll just bypass this, take note. Starting February 1st, 2026, if you try to fly without a real ID or a federal alternative like a passport, the TSA is going to put you through a strict alternative manual identity screening. And this process isn't free. It comes with a $45 administrative fee, it's only valid for 10 days, and it is going to cause major friction and delays at the checkpoint. You definitely want to avoid that whole shebang. Section 2. The 4 document pillars. Gathering your verification inventory. So the Indiana BMV uses this super strict validation process built around what they call the 4 pillars of identity verification. You're going to need 1. Proof of identity. 2. Proof of lawful status in the U.S. 3. Proof of your social security number. And 4. 2 separate documents that prove your physical Indiana residency. The good news, you can actually knock out pillars 1 and 2 with a single document like an unexpired U.S. passport or a certified state birth certificate. For Pillar 3, your social security number, just bring your original social security card, a W-2 form, or even a pre-printed pay stub as long as it shows the number. Now, here's the absolute biggest pitfall. I call it the name change trap. Actually, scratch that. It's more like a total roadblock if you aren't prepared. If your current driver's license says Jane Smith, but your birth certificate says Jane Doe, the BMV will reject your application right there unless you can prove how Doe became Smith. They need to see the literal paper trail of your life, meaning original marriage licenses, divorce decrees, or official court orders. Moving on to Pillar 4, this requires 2 proofs of Indiana residency. And heads up, the expiration dates on these are incredibly strict. A utility bill, bank statement, or doctor's bill has to be dated within 60 days of your BMV visit. W-2s or property tax bills are good for the current or prior year, and stuff like homeowners or auto insurance policies are valid if dated within 1 year. Triple check your dates before you leave the house. Section 3. Navigating the application process and clearing that BMV branch visit. Sure, you could just walk in, but booking an appointment online through the telegov system is literally your golden ticket to avoiding long wait times. Once you get there, you can check in on your phone or at a kiosk, which usually lets you skip right past the general queue. Then, you'll sit down with the BMV staff for a rigorous physical document validation. They'll snap your new photo and hand you a temporary paper credential while the hard copy gets mailed to your house. Now, what's really interesting here is how old school the BMV's requirements are. You cannot just pull up a PDF of your water bill on your phone screen. It absolutely must be printed on paper. You also can't bring photocopies or laminated birth certificates. They need to be originals or certified copies with that raised seal. And finally, P.O. boxes are a strict no-go for proving residency. It has to be your physical street address.
Section 4. Associated costs and fees. Paying for the upgrade.
Here's a really nice surprise. Getting a real ID doesn't actually cost you a penny extra. It is the exact same price as a standard renewal. For a driver's license, if you're under 75, it's just $1,750. For ages 75 to 85, that drops down to $11. And for folks 85 and older, it's a mere $7. Oh, and if you don't drive and just need a state ID card, that'll be a very affordable $10. Section 5. Renewals and special cases. Exceptions to the rule.
What if you can't provide two bills with your own name on them? Don't panic. You can use State Form 5879, which is the Indiana Residency Affidavit. For minors under 18, a parent or guardian just signs it. If you're an adult living with a roommate whose name is on the lease, they can just come to the branch with you and co-sign. They've also got specific protocols for group facilities, homeless populations with a verified nonprofit letterhead, and even mobile vehicle residents who have active Indiana vehicle registrations.
And here is absolutely the best news in this entire explainer. For U.S. citizens, this massive document scavenger hunt is a one-and-done deal. Once you successfully secure your Real ID, you don't ever need to bring this giant folder of documents back for your future standard renewals. You just have to survive this verification process once.
Section 6. Final tips and disclaimer. Our mission debrief. Just a quick disclaimer before we wrap up. All the information, fees, and requirements we've talked about today are accurate as of the creation of this explainer. But as we all know, state and federal laws can shift around. So before you head over to the branch, always double-check the official Indiana BMV website at in.gov/BMV for the absolute latest requirements and to download their official document checklist. That May 2025 deadline, it's not budging. And you know the crowds at the BMV are only going to get crazier as that date gets closer. So the choice is totally yours. Are you going to gather your documents, book your appointment, and secure that golden star? Or will you be left stranded and waiting at the TSA checkpoint while everyone else boards the plane? Don't wait on this, guys. Start gathering your paperwork today.